What's going on, everybody? Welcome to my channel. My name's Chris, and this is part 5 of my acoustic guitar build. Last time we added the back onto the sides or the rims, and today I've got to work on the soundboard. So of course with the top I have to do a rosette and a sound hole as well. So it should be interesting. I got a lot of stuff to do with it. So here's the top. It's a piece of Sitka spruce, well, 2 pieces, and they're rather thick. So that has to be thinned down a lot, but I'll do that after I join these 2 pieces together. So I've got to joint this end and then join them together using my plate joining jig, and then I've got to get it thin. So that's the first part, and then we'll go on from there. So let's get started with that first part right now. Looks pretty good so far. I'll spend a little more time on it, maybe get some sandpaper out and lightly sand, and then I'll come back. Alright, I ran some sandpaper along the side of it, and that seemed to fix and close up the gap really good. So I've got my plate joining jig here, got a piece of wax paper ready to go. I got some clamps ready to clamp on this adjustable fence. So the only thing here is the top is wider than the back was, so I'm going to have to clamp this fence kind of hanging off the edge a little bit. As long as it's a little bit, just barely wider than what the wedges are, it'll be fine. And this time I'm using these stronger clamps. I used some small clamps last time on the back, and they just didn't hold on too well, and they started sliding when I started tapping these wedges into place. Should be plenty for the whole thing. The sides are perfectly the exact same thickness all the way down, so that's just what makes me nervous. I see a little shadow here, and it just makes me nervous, but they're both pressed all the way down, so it should be good. Alright, that should do it for now. Also, it's been a couple of hours, so I'm going to take this off and let's see what it looks like. Not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. Alright, so I finished the initial, I guess, cleaning up of the soundboard. You can see that brown grain right there, right in the middle on this one side. I guess my options will be to either try to put the sound hole right here or use the other side as the top. We'll see. I mostly used the plane, but I did do a little bit of scraper work because I think on this one side there was a spot where it had started to tear out a little bit. So now,
the rosette.
Alright, so it's been about a month since that last clip. First of all, it got really cold, like stupid cold. It's just too cold to be in the shop. Too cold. It's not heated in here. So, second of all, I'm just nervous about the rosette. So I tend to make up excuses why I need to just wait for a minute instead of doing something when I need to just jump in and do it. So I was missing a drill bit, not a drill bit, I guess it's a bit for my DeWalt, not my DeWalt, a bit for my Dremel. I needed a 1/16 inch bit, so I got that. So So I got no excuses now. I'm gonna go ahead and do the rosette today. Wish me luck. And these are the things I need. I've got the rosette itself, the little purfling that goes on the inside and outside. I got this a while back, StewMac centering jig or circle cutting jig. And I need this for snacky time. And I'm ready to go, I think. So I'm gonna go ahead and get set up and I'll get back with you. So quick note on the circle cutting jig. I have my Dremel here and I was figuring out, you know, obviously it doesn't just go on there, and there's 2 holes here for 2 screws. I don't have any bases that came in with my Dremel. You know, here's one that have screw holes on them. So I was kind of thinking, oh no, I don't think I have everything I need. There must be some kind of other base that I need to get from my Dremel. Well, I still got this StewMac base here that I use to cut the notches for the braces on the back. And it's got 2 holes on the bottom, which line up perfectly with those holes on the circle cutting jig. So I guess it's a good thing I already have this, because I can use this to attach to the circle cutting jig, and I guess that'll let me go up and down and I'm good to go. So just a note on that, if you're planning on using this, you're gonna have to have a way to attach it to your router. If your router has a base that has some bowl holes that line up like that, that's fine. Otherwise, if you're using a Dremel like me, you can get this Dremel base and use it. Okay, I am just about ready to go. I've got everything marked out where the rosette needs to go. I've got a pin for the circle cutting jig installed. Now I'm just trying to move the bit. I've got the bit height set where I want it for right now. So I'm just trying to move it into the zone where I need to start cutting. Right there. Alright, so I'm going to start doing my test cuts. I'm going to check how deep it is, and then I'm going to make my first pass, and then I'll catch up with you then. Okay, I've got my test hole cut there, and I've got it to the depth that I want it to go. So I'm ready to make my first pass. So here we go. Okay, not too shabby. Just checking to make sure that that cut is inside the diameter of this rosette all the way around, and it looks like it is. It's real close to that inside line. So now it's going to take me a little while because I'll have to adjust on the circle cutting jig to make this ring bigger and bigger until it fits my rosette. So it's going to take me a while to do that. When I get done with that circle, I'll come back. Alright, it took me a while, but I was barely sneaking up on it. But check it out. Looks pretty good. Now to get it back out, I found I can use my awl, get up under this edge, so it pops a little free, and then put my flat ruler on it. Get it back out that way. So what happened was I cut the circle, and then whenever I was testing it, this side fit in, but this side I had to push really hard to try to force it in. It's almost like this side here was too narrow. So I just did some things that Robbie said to do in his video to help take care of that spot, like right here. I had to mainly do what he said to do to make this side fit. So you'll have to purchase his course if you want to find out what that is. But it worked great and it's fitting perfectly. So now I need to cut the slots for the purfling. There's going to be one on the inside and one on the outside, and then I'll be ready to do the glue. Okay, I've got a small problem. In the video, the purfling that Robbie has is 1/16 inch thick. The purfling that came with the rosette, in the package with the rosette, is about 1/32 of an inch. So one pass with that 1/16 inch bit is too wide. It's just way too wide. So I went and got the purfling out of the other pack, out of the box from the the other supplies. I think this is the purfling that goes on the side of the guitar. And it looks like what he has in the video, but even this is a little bit too narrow. So 1/16 of an inch is 0.063 inches. And this is coming out to 0.056. So it's just a little bit too narrow. And then the purfling that was with the Rosette, 0.039. So it's down in the 1/32 inch range. So my options are to either go without purfling and just do a rosette, just this thin rosette, or purchase another bit, wait till it comes in and cut lines. What I'll probably have to do today is just go ahead and glue this rosette in, scrape it down flush, and then I can make the decision on whether to add purfling or not. But at this point, I don't have anything wide enough to fit in a 1/16 inch slot right there. Alright, here we go with the glue. You can see how the top is bowed over the last month just sitting there after I glued it up. It's alright, I think, because the bracing will actually make it bend a little bit that way anyway. Alright, got the glue. Kids going crazy. Alright, so let's do this. Let me get it all up in there, all over the place. Gotta move quickly before it starts to swell up too much. Okay, it's in there. Make sure it's in there good, right? I've heard or I've seen people on YouTube recently who had issues with this part, where it started swelling up too fast and it started coming in and it wouldn't go all the way in suddenly. It wouldn't fit. So I'm kind of nervous a little bit. It looks like it's in there though. Alright, I got a wet rag here. Get some of that glue squeezed out up. Alright, let's make it over to the go bar deck and get this thing under clamps. Let me just put a piece of wax paper down just in case. So I got this scrap piece of wood here, and this piece of plywood here, and then roll bars. Alright, I think that'll do. Think that'll do, huh? Think so? Oh, yeah, there you are. So there you go. I'm gonna let this dry for a while, a few hours probably, because it's kind of chilly outside, and I'll come back to you. Alright, it's been about 4 or 5 hours, so I'm gonna go ahead and take these clamps off of here and see what it looks like. Not too bad. It's just barely above the surface, so of course I'll have to do a little bit of scraping and try to flatten it out. Alright, well I spent quite some time scraping on it. I used the scraper first and got it really close to the surface level, and then I used a razor blade and scraped it the rest of the way that way. And then I sanded everything starting at I had already sanded it to 120 before I did the rosette. So I resanded it to 120 and then went up to 220 and got it looking pretty smooth. So I think I'm going to wrap it up for this one. What I decided was I'll probably just keep the rosette like it is now with just the one band. I have to order another bit to do the purfling, and really I'm ready to just move on, and I like the way just the simple rosette looks by itself. So I think I'm good with this one without having to add extra purfling. I like the way it looks. I don't have the bit on hand. If I had had the bit, I would have gone ahead and done it, because I already started cutting the channel for it. I did a little test cut, and that's when I realized the purfling I had was too small. But I like the way it turned out. I think it looks awesome. It's such a tight line, like there's no gaps whatsoever, except for at the very top, of course, where there's that split. But it looks so good, and I'm really excited about the way it came out. And I'm looking forward to finishing up the top, getting the bracing, and that's all coming up in the next video. So thanks for watching. I appreciate you checking it out, and I'll see you next time. Bye.